we're going to go ahead and get our program started now. I get the honor of introducing a man that has helped Tierra more than anyone other. His name is Bud Brown, and Bud Brown is the reason why we have an employment program at Tierra del Sol. He doesn't like attention too much, but oh well. Bud, if you'd like to come up to the stage and start our program, that would just be great. Thank you.
What am I supposed to do? You didn't tell me. Oh, no. We'll figure it out. Hey, what a great turnout. Isn't this something, though? Wow. You know, you look at all these companies out there that have supported our clients over the years, and gosh, it started way back in the early 90s, and some of them are still here today. Some of the Daily News for 14 years, same with Precision, same with Hammer Toyota, and many, many more that, gosh, I just too numerous to mention, but we can't tell you how much we appreciate all you've done for Tierra and hiring our clients, because really they are the best clients in the whole world. So anyway, I was when I found out that Andrew Krugler could not be here today, I was asked, and I'm very happy to introduce our very special guest today, and she happens to be with the Valley Presbyterian Hospital. And maybe I'd have Peggy come up here and stand up here with me for a moment. Let's give a nice hand for Valley Pres and Peggy Matsuda. My buddy. Yeah, we go back a long way, don't we? Yeah. Anyway, as you might know, if you don't, you will, that Tierra is the best organization in the world for helping people with disabilities. They go out of their way to try and find jobs for these folks. It's just a constant effort. And I really appreciate those that have taken the time and taken a chance. I always remember the very first one I think I talked to was a guy named Larry Beasley with the Daily News at the time. He was a publisher, and talked to him about Tierra, and Steve was with me. And sometimes back in those days, people were just a little bit reluctant to maybe want to take a chance on some of the folks. But Larry could see the benefit in the Daily News, how they could help him. So they all, what is that thing? Oh, all right, good job, babe. Yeah. They decided they would take that chance, and they really opened the door for us, along with Precision Dynamics at the same time. And they said, yes, but we'll do it. And I'll tell you, if you talk to these folks afterwards, they're going to say it's the best thing they ever did in their entire life. The employees are the best. You don't have to worry about drugs. You don't worry about alcohol. You don't worry about not showing up because they don't feel good. The people are there. They do their job, and they do it exceptionally well. So if there's any companies out here that have not taken that opportunity to have some of these folks, you need to do it. It really will enrich your life. So now I'll get back to what I'm supposed to say here. Valley Presbyterian is the title sponsor for this event. Valley Press has been really, really good community folks, have been for years. And we thank them so much for saying, yes, we are going to hire some of your people. We are going to bring them on board. So let's give them a nice hand for that. I mean, everyone we bring in is just the best. So anyway, they couldn't make a better choice. I'll tell you, you're going to love our clients. They are just the most wonderful people in the world. You know, I've known Peggy Matsuda for, gosh, well over 30 years now. Peggy worked for GTE when I was there. She had a big shot job up in general office, and I was a lonely community relations guy out in the valley, just struggling to trying to help some of our nonprofit groups get a little money out of that company. And you know, we'd submit grants, and then they'd have to go through Peggy first, and if they got through Peggy, your chances of getting the grant were pretty good. A couple of times Peggy says, Bud, nah, that wasn't gonna work. I remember one in particular for Tierra. The company's changed their criteria, what they want to do and what we can do, and that one isn't going to fit. And I said, well, it has to. I've already promised them, you know. She says, well, you can't do that. That's not your job. You can't promise things you don't know you can produce. I said, well, I know we can because you're going to make sure it happens. And by golly, Peggy came through. Give Peggy a big hand. Really, she really, really helped us during those years. So, yeah. I thought she was a big shot then, but wow, now, let's see. I'm reading this. It says, Senior Vice President, listen to this stuff, for community and marketing development. Peggy's responsibilities include community programming, outreach, marketing and advertising, employing volunteers, all their programs, development, media relations, and internal communications. I wonder, Ron, maybe she might be the one you want and get rid of Bill, you know? No, I'm only kidding. Bill does a great job with the Daily News, but that's quite a lot of work there, Peggy. So she has been honored with more awards than we'd have time to talk about today. It seems like every luncheon I go to, Peggy is receiving some kind of award for her outstanding efforts and work that she does through the community. So, and the most recent, I think one of the big ones was she was in State of California Woman of the Year. That's pretty good, huh? Big hand for Peggy. Woman of the Year, my God, wow. Good girl, Peggy. Anyway, most importantly for today, Peggy has become a very good friend and supporter of Tierra del Sol. It is now my pleasure to welcome really my good friend, longtime friend, that's not only helped me with Tierra, but so many other great organizations in the Valley. And if it wasn't for Peggy, a lot of things that are being done today would not be done because of her. So give her a great big warm welcome from Tierra, folks.
When Bud says that he and I have known each other for 30 years, I don't think he's too far off. And one thing a lot of people don't know about Bud and I, and actually Bud and Althea, his wife, and I did not know for many years, is we were actually next door neighbors for a couple of years at least. And one of those times where you just talk about, because I used to talk to Bud all the time because he was always strong-arming me through the GTU Foundation for grants. But I have to say, in hindsight, Bud was always right. Even the times when I would push back on him, Bud always knew what was going on, and he certainly had the heartbeat of this community here. And I learned a lot from Bud over the years, and you set a great example for a lot of us at that company during a time of a lot of transition and change. So we thank you very much, all of us do. So anyhow, I'm here today to say hello to all of you from Valley Presbyterian Hospital, and on behalf of our 1,600 employees, our 450 physicians, our 4,000 babies that are born every year at our facility, on behalf of the 60,000 patients we see every year in our emergency room, we're really pleased to be here today to support Tierra del Sol. And I think most of us here in the room, how many of us have actually been to Tierra? Taken a tour, been there? Okay, like a lot of us have been there already. If you haven't been to Tierra, that's the moment when you're going to really understand the important work that they do and how they do it, and you'll learn a lot about their clients as well. And here's something that I think we've all really understood. All of us that work in business, all of us that work here in the community, many of us who may not be working today but may be retired, we all know people who have opportunities to support Tierra in a lot of ways. And of course, the most important and meaningful way is really to hire Tierra clients, provide opportunities for training, and to give Tierra clients positions. And this is not like a charity thing. This is not like, well, gee, I have a few jobs that I can do this. There are many opportunities in many companies and organizations where Tierra employees would be the perfect employees for your organization. So I'd encourage all of you to please look around your organizations and talk to your friends and find opportunities for Tierra clients. And I also want to say that at Valley Presbyterian Hospital, we've had the opportunity to know Tierra for many, many years and embarking on our own type of special relationship. And I also wanted to recognize two of our employees today, our Director of Dietary, Harry Davis, and also our volunteer coordinator, Virginia Annapolis, because it's the two of these directors that have really made sure that the Tierra agenda is alive here in Valley Presbyterian Hospital, and I'm really grateful for your leadership and your support. So with that, I'm going to let you get on to finish your lunch, and we'll see you a little bit for some awards. Thank you very much.
Really, I'm not supposed to be up here, but who cares? I'm here. You know, one thing I did not do, and I should have, is my wonderful wife, Althea. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of stuff. Stand up here. No, you have to have a strong supporter. And Althea's been there every minute of the way, every year, and she still is today. And I just wanted to, I forgot, I got carried away, but thank you so much for that. I love her.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rebecca Leinhard, and I'm the pleasure of co-hosting, and Mindy will be back in just a minute, and I'm going to co-host this event for the rest of the time with Mindy. And I'm very excited. It's really exciting to see such a full house today. Many of you, I saw hands up. They've walked around, and here she is. So Mindy and I are going to co-host. So many of you, as I saw the hands go up, have walked around our Sunland campus or have been to an event like this or a celebration ceremony for a recent graduate. And if you've done that, then you know that there is one truth that we believe in at Tierra, and that's this, is that with the right match and with the right supports, that all people can work. Regardless of the notion of disability, all people can work. And I know and I believe that in every fabric of my being. And today, with this audience of 300, we're proving that to be true. But I want to give you a statistic, and one that I'm not proud of, and one that I want to know that we can change, and that is the employment rate for people with disabilities. The employment rate for people with disabilities is still 20%. That's appalling. And that's not a fact that I want to have continued. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The employment rate, not the unemployment rate, but the employment rate for people with disabilities still hovers at 20%. And you, all of you in the room, you know that, and you're committed to it, and I know you're committed to changing that one person at a time. And in no small measure, to each and every person sitting here, the employment rate in this room is 100%. The employment rate in this room is 100%. So before I recognize the employers for their contribution to this incredible number, I'd like to take a minute and recognize the employees in the audience who, against all odds, make the daily trek to work to show that they can be contributors, wage earners, equal citizens at the employment table. They are my role models for endurance and winning against all odds. I suspect that most of us take time for granted. No, I'm not talking about a deep philosophical question here. I really mean time. What happens if the concept of time is just beyond your grasp? What happens if you really don't understand how it really works? What happens if you're awakened by an alarm clock, not because you understand the time on the face of it, but rather you've conditioned yourself to rise at the sound? What would it feel like to have trust that someone has set it to the right time? So now what happens if your schedule changes, or if your bus schedule changes? What would you do? In the last 25 years of supporting people with intellectual disabilities, this has not been an uncommon challenge. In fact, I believe that most of the employees sitting in this room who are supported by Tierra del Sol's employment services face this challenge every day. But despite this, they have found a way. They show up on time every day. This is one of the multiple obstacles that individuals in this room overcome to serve the businesses here today. They do so with a smile and a desire to work hard and a spirit that is stronger than mine will ever be, to serve and to shine. So can the 75 employees in this room who are shining today please stand? We recognize you for your tenacity, your determination, and your commitment. Now I'm going to ask one more thing. I'm going to ask all of those in this room who rely on supports like a carpool to get to work, or maybe even a carpool to help to get your kids get to school. Could you please stand? Anybody? Now I'm going to ask for those of you who rely on a significant other to get you up in the morning or have a warm cup of coffee ready for you. Will you please stand? Now I'm going to ask all of those who find it difficult to juggle all of life's challenges, but somehow with the support of friends and family, find a way to do the extraordinary task of earning a living despite these challenges. Could you please stand? Together, we, with each other's support, we will face these challenges. We will overcome these challenges. And today we celebrate our success. 100% employment in this room today. Thank you. So at this point in time, Mindy and I will be recognizing all of the employers who make this possible. So as you hear your name, each organization please stand as we read them out, because these organizations have found a pathway to hire people with intellectual disabilities. And in turn, they've seen the profound impact that each individual hired has had on their work cultures of the businesses they serve. Now, as we read your name, please remain standing, and you are truly the treasures of the San Fernando Valley. You'll also have, at the end of the program, out on the registration table, a scroll of recognition for you, for your support in this endeavor. So here we go, you ready? So we're just gonna read the names, and as you hear your name, your organization's name, please stand, and we'll honor everybody as we go. So Albertsons Market, Alternative Home Care, please stand. The Auto Gallery,
Big Lots, Vivek Manor,
Child Development Institute, the Los Angeles Daily News, Fireman's Brew, First United Methodist Church of Reseda,
Hummer, Toyota,
the Home Depot, Hyperdrive, La Coruna Senior Apartments, Los Angeles Valley College.
and Lowe's.
One more.
Six Flags Magic Mountain,
National Health Foundation, North Los Angeles County Regional Center,
North Valley YMCA. One Generation, Provision Dynamics.
Rouse Market, Sports Authority, State of California Department of General Services,
Sun Thief Store. And Target.
Valley Presbyterian Hospital, Vaughn's Market, and our last but not least.
And Walmart.
So could you please give all these folks a strong hand, because they're making a difference in the lives of all the folks that we serve. You ready? So Mindy, how long have you worked at Lowe's?
5 years.
And what were you doing before you went to Lowe's? Do you remember?
I went to Tierra, the campus.
And did you work anywhere before you started your job at Lowe's?
I worked at One Generation Daycare.
That's right. And what were some of the things you learned there? Do you remember?
Cleaning
Okay,
and food service.
very good. And what are some things that you do at work now?
Sweeping, cleaning the plant base and carts, and helping the customers service.
Do you like that part?
Yes, I love it.
Perfect. So as you can see, there really is an impact not only on the businesses that we serve, but on the folks that we serve mutually together. So at this point in time, it's my great honor to be able to bring up Steve Miller to the podium for our next part of the program. So Steve's going to write in, okay?
What a great full house. Thank you all so much for joining us. The first thing I get to do is thank a couple people. I'd like to thank Chris Clark, whose dream it was to have this luncheon, and his entire development team. Thank you very much, Chris. The next thing I get to do is I get to introduce a brand new video that will play for just about 3 minutes. Because we can talk and we can talk and we can talk, but there's nothing like seeing the real thing. So if we have that video queued up and ready to go.
On paper, the mission of the Daily News is fairly simple. We want to provide great journalism for the communities that we serve. But in reality, it goes a lot deeper than that, because what we really want to do is we want to make a difference. We want to have an impact on the community that we serve.
They offered me a job in the Daily News. It only took me 2 days to decide. They gave me a week, but I decided in 2 days. I've been working there for 11 years.
Marcella, when she first comes in, immediately does the mail. That's her thing. No one should touch the mail but Marcella. Then Marcella passes out faxes and does deliveries. She checks the office supplies daily and lets me know if there's anything we need to order or what we need to refill.
I do the mail and give it to people over there.
She likes everything they have on their desk. If something's moved, she notices. We all feel like a family. We feel like an extended family to Marcella. And from Christmas to every holiday and her birthday, we have a big celebration for her birthday. And she feels like we're members of her family.
I've worked for 11 years and she's worked for 13.
The Tierra del Sol employees support our circulation, advertising, and editorial departments. Each one of them take on a role of doing important tasks for each one of those functions. And of course, they operate just like any other employee. They're a part of our organization just like everyone else. They come into the office, they get their assignments, they have supervisors that assist in what they do, and then they spend the rest of their day working on those particular tasks. That work requires them to be working throughout our operation and interacting with other individuals. And I just can't tell you the smiles that I see on the faces of everybody who comes in contact with them. Rini, Marcella, Linda, they're fantastic individuals who make a difference in our organization. They lift the morale of all of the other employees who work with them. It's been a great and positive experience for the Los Angeles Daily News.
As soon as they stop applauding, tell them who you are.
Hi, my name is Linda Anderson, and I am a Daily News employee. I've worked here for 11 years, and I love every minute of it. I like a lot of things about my job. I like my job because it keeps me organized, focused and organized. I get a paycheck, and that makes me feel like I'm productive and useful to the society. And I see Daily News as a second home. One of the most important things is I get to work around amazing coworkers that have helped me become a successful professional woman. Jacqueline, my boss, is an inspiration for me. She treats me like all her other employees and she is always pushing me to do better. She is a great friend and mentor. Other people I would like to mention for my success are Sophia and Lionel. They have helped me to be more professional in my work and life. Sophia is a great coach, but she is not only a great coach, she is a very close friend. We have shared a lot together. Everyone who helps and supports me gets an A+ from me. I could not be the Linda I am now without all these people. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Everybody wants their moment in the sun. Marcella, just say hello and wave.
Hi, everybody. And I
worked at the Daily News at 13 years. From my friend Teresa, they give me a hard job to do, and everything I want to do is, I'm happy for my Teresa, who has me for my job. Like do the mail, show them the mail, newspapers, and that kind of stuff like that. I do reading stuff for her. She is my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, buddy.
This is for you. You want to say anything else?
Uh-huh. Okay. Prisoners, I love the boy, I love the day, I love the way, what happened prisoners, what happened, trainer, what happened, I said, Mommy, my house. I like you. No, much.
You want to follow that? I'm looking at Rainie's mother right now. That was for you. So, look, I don't think anybody really knows how the world changes. But I know there's certain ingredients that have to go into that mix somehow. It takes dreamers, it takes rebels, and it takes heroes. I don't know what exactly the chemical combination of those three is, or how long it has to bake, or what conditions have to be present. But you've got to have those three ingredients, or the world will never change. This room is full of those ingredients. I'm going to mention a couple of companies because they're examples of that. But when I think about making an example of somebody, I go back to when I was in middle school, and I know what it meant when they told me, I'm going to make an example out of you. And that isn't what I mean this time. I mean, I want to point to a couple of companies that show how the world changes. And I want you to know that when we talk about these two companies, we're talking about every single person in this room. When Renee was born, when Linda was born, when Marcella was born, almost nobody even was a dream that somebody with a disability could go to school and work hard and have a dream of learning a skill and going to work and living a big life and making their parents proud. Almost nobody could have that dream because it didn't exist. The world wasn't ready for that. But I said almost nobody could have that dream. There were a few people that had that dream. There were a few parents that said, my daughter is different. My daughter can have a chance. There were a few young adults that said, why not me? We had some dreamers. We had young dreamers like Rebecca, young professional, with that vision in her eye. So we had some dreamers. We needed some rebels. So we looked out in the community and we found that cast of malcontents. We found that gang of rebels over at Hamer Toyota. We found some contrarians at Precision Dynamics, some people that didn't know how to take no for an answer. And we found those notorious anarchists at the LA Daily News. And when we said to them, thank you, Bud, when Bud and I said to them, people with disabilities can work, those companies didn't say, no, they can't. They said, well, why not? That was the only crack those dreamers needed. Why not? And you know what? There was no good reason why not. And so at the Daily News, I remember it so clearly, walking through that place, saying, well, I see people that are probably making a good deal of money doing this. They're graphic artists, they're various professionals. How are they getting these materials from one place to another? Who's opening those envelopes? Who's doing all the filing? You need us. And I remember Rebecca walking in there and figuring out how to do it. And then I remember Renee. Renee, excuse me. I'm always going to be Renee to me. Renee. And thinking, Renee has been at Sunland showing that she had those skills for many years. And I remember trying to convince Mom that Renee could make a living. Renee could be independent. And so Renee is a hero. Renee and her compatriots went out and proved that it was real. The thing about heroes like Lisa, like Linda, like Marcella, like Renee, like Liz, like Michael, like Sammy, actually like Lionel, like Caesar, like Shauna, like Gabby, like all of our team. Heroes aren't up on stage usually. Heroes are the ones that make reality happen by facing challenges every day, having the courage of their convictions, as Rebecca said, getting up and getting on a bus when it's raining, learning new skills. The challenges that make dreams come true are fought and succeeded every day. And so for 15 years, 13 years, 11 years, and with the Daily News, through thick and thin, and there has been both, a great employer, great employees, great staff, the right ingredients to prove to everybody that that 20% of people that are employed can be 60% employed and eventually 100% employed. So at this point, it's my pleasure, really. It's an honor as well, but it's really a pleasure to introduce the publisher and president of the LA Daily News, Ron Hasse. We're going to let Ron talk. Nope, can't. Your boss is going to talk.
Hi, guys. Well, you have no idea how my heart is just filled with pride right now. Getting a chance to listen to my employees speaking about their experiences at the Daily News is just phenomenal. The Daily News over the many years that we've been in existence have received numerous awards, but I got to tell you, there's nothing that's more honoring than receiving an award from Tierra del Sol. So thank you so much for this. I really do appreciate it. You may have heard me say on the video that the mission of the Daily News is quite simple, and it really is. We want and we need and we strive to provide excellent journalism in everything we do. But it really does mean so much more to us when we can educate and inspire our readers to make a difference. And that's why we're here today, to recognize these heroes and to recognize the businesses and individuals who do make a difference. You know, the Daily News supports a lot of different organizations similar to Tierra. We support New Horizons, we support Special Olympics, but there's something about our relationship with Tierra, something that Bud brought to our attention almost 20 years ago, of a way that we could have a hands-on effect and a hands-on impact in the lives of the Tierra del Sol clients. And I have to tell you, they're not just Tierra del Sol clients to us. They're my valued employees. I love these ladies. They're fantastic workers. They are productive in what they do. And as you saw in the video, when they walk in to that, from that elevator, the smiles on the faces of my employees is just priceless. So I'm so thrilled that they're here today. I'm thrilled that they're being recognized, because really, this is about them. The Daily News is pleased to accept this honor, and I accept it on behalf of the hundreds of men and women over those last 15 years that have been a participant in the Tierra del Sol Foundation. You know, over the years, the Daily News has been known as the voice of the Valley, and for just a moment, I want to change that label to be the conscience of the Valley. And I want to encourage you, and I want to ask you, if you're a business owner or a participant in a company, to take a close look at what you can do to be a workplace partner with Tierra del Sol. I promise you, it will change your perspective. I'd love for you to be back here next year, this same place, talking to us about the experiences, the positive impact they had on your company, because I promise you that they will. If you're considering it, there's no time like the present. You heard the employment statistics. We need to do more. I appreciate this award, but I hope you understand that this is not what the Daily News, this is not why we do what we do, because ours is not a mission, ours is a calling. It's a calling to make a difference, and it's a call we intend to answer. So thank you on behalf of the Daily News for this recognition. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Tierra del Sol, and thank you, guests. I appreciate it.
I'm going to ask this, Ron, if you guys don't mind standing up here. It's kind of like a time machine. I told you about how the Daily News was present at really the creation of this notion that anybody can work. I'm going to move now to the present. Small company, actually not even a company, just a couple with a vision. Why not start our own business? Why not take ladies' fashion off Rodeo Drive and make it possible for people anywhere through the internet to see high fashion? And why not try to take some of the priciness out of that and make high fashion a little bit more accessible to the masses? Why don't we realize that the world has changed and that people are going shopping when they get home and take their shoes off and turn on their computer? I sure know that's going on at my house. That's how entrepreneurs get started, by asking those questions and having a dream, finding a way to match their passion with a chance to create something new. And so we have another company that we want to recognize. We call them a trailblazer. We know that most jobs are created by entrepreneurs and small companies. And we want small companies and individual entrepreneurs to know that their dream and their vision to grow can start with other people who have a dream and a vision and will be the best employees the world's ever seen. So we have an example, and we're going to make an example out of Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive, a small company you may never have heard of today. That's you, Margot. And I'm going to ask Margot Rainey, who wears a number of hats there, but the title she's most proud of is her one that has to do with human resources, meaning she hires, maintains people. And thanks to Margot, she found us. She reached out, created an opportunity where we now have 2 people who are working who didn't have that opportunity before the dream began with Hyperdrive, and I'd like to recognize Margot Rainey.
Thank you. I think Nelson's going to come join me, calm my nerves. So I was hired by Hyperdrive about 8 months ago, and they gave me the task of finding employees and also finding some charity that we could give back to in the community. And I remember calling around, Google searching, because I had no idea actually even where to start. And I got a hold of Jan, and she was so lovely, and she said, "Oh my God, you have to call Kevin at Tierra del Sol. He will help you out." So of course I called Kevin, and he continued to harass me for about 2 months. Just kidding, he didn't. But we hired Nelson, and he's been with us a little bit over 6 months. He's going to celebrate his 6-month anniversary. And he has been such a joy to work with. He's one of our most valued employees. He's been Employee of the Month. He's also earned additional PTO time. He's a part-time employee, but he earns additional PTO time because we have a great incentive for people who show up to work on time, and he has done that every month that he's been with us. So we're very proud of him. The experience for me with Tierra del Sol has been really wonderful, from the coaches, from Susan to Tom, Bernardo, And then last but not least, Kevin, have been so great and has really helped us out with all of our needs whenever we have them. And we also recently just hired Talene. I don't think she's here, but she just started with us this week. And then we're also looking at doing the group program. So we're very happy to be here. Thank you very much.
There's got to be hardware, right? Ron, I'd like to present you on behalf of Tierra del Sol, this audience, and our community, this recognition. And Margot, on behalf of Tierra del Sol and our entire community, I'd like to. Dreamers, rebels, and heroes. They're examples. Thank you. And everybody in this room has some mixture of those three. Thank you.
Let's take a picture right here.
Hi, everybody. Today's my birthday. I'm 45.
Today's your birthday. Happy birthday.
It's my birthday in November 18. I'm 45.
Let's get a picture right here.
I'm happy.
And then you get a picture too. You guys want to get a picture? No, go ahead.
So we've just had a chance to honor the world changers and the trailblazers. And interestingly enough, we're at the part of the program, it's the first time we've done this, and I get to honor what I would consider the pioneers. I started at Tierra 23 years ago, and it really was about blazing those trails and finding the new places. And the people I'm going to ask to come up here are really the pioneers of proving that it can work. And I'm hoping I'm going to get through this part really well, because these folks I grew up with. They're friends of mine. We've journeyed this journey together, and it may be kind of an emotional place for me, but this is the place where we get to honor our retirees. I actually think we should call it honoring the pioneers. Their definition, by pure definition of pioneer, and I looked it up this morning, it's one who opens up new areas of thought, research, or development. And think about that, right? We've really been honoring the fact that people with disabilities can work, are able to work, and they can work for a long time, 13 years, 11 years. And now we get to honor folks who have been working for more than 20 years, and they're going to retire now. And we get an opportunity to say congratulations to them. So again, it's really a special part of the program for me anyway. I'm going to, and Mindy, these folks paved your way for you to work at Lowe's. If it wasn't for these folks coming up on stage, who knows where you would be today. So How does that make you feel?
It makes me loving.
Yeah, I love that too, actually. So let's get started. I'm going to ask a few more people to come back up on stage and help me to honor these folks. And so I'm going to ask Steve and Bud and Peggy, if you wouldn't mind, to come back up on stage. But I'm also going to ask a few other folks because Steve talked about unsung heroes. And there are a few folks in this audience today who have been the backbone and have really made the success of these folks' work really happen. And I'm going to ask Candy, Lionel, Caesar, and Julie to come up. And then I'm also going to ask Sam Davis, Elizabeth Cavedo, Claire Zeitland, Mike Cavedo, and Cindy Couture to join me on stage today. So as they're making their way to the stage, I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of them. So Sam Davis is the first we're going to honor. And he started his career at Shadow Hills Preschool in 1989. Think about that, 1989. And he retired in September of last year from Sun Thrift after serving for more than 10 years as a stock associate. Sam remains active at the Sunland Senior Center, where he's been volunteering as now an active member for over 15 years. I'm just going to keep going so that they can make their way to the stage. Elizabeth Cavedo will be the next person we're going to honor. And she started her career at Sears in Burbank in 1999. She retired from Tape Specialists Incorporated, where she served as a production support team for 8 years. She's enjoying retirement and as a member and a volunteer staff of Bernardi Senior Center in Van Nuys. The third person we're going to honor today is Claire Zeitland. Claire retired from her position at Hillcrest Christian School as an art assistant after serving for many years. And although Claire remains active member of her community, she's decided in her retirement years that she's going to continue to pursue her art career. And she spends most of her days committing herself to her art, which, mind you, she's still actively showing and selling, and in turn earning a living. So I kind of hesitated a little bit of whether or not she's really retired. Mike Cavedo, when I came to Tierra del Sol 23 years ago, I had the honor of actually working with Mike at his position of a store associate at Pizza Hut in Reseda. Mike then went on to serve as a landscaping assistant for the state of California Van Nuys office complex. Mike served in that capacity until his retirement after 15 years of service. He's enjoying his retirement, serving alongside his sister as a member and volunteer staff of Bernardi Senior Center. And finally, Cindy Couture has joined our stage. She's held several positions in the community over the last 20 years, including a store associate at Joann's Fabrics in Reseda. Cindy is our most recent retiree. On July 15th of this year, she officially retired from a position at North Valley YMCA, where she served as a customer and inventory support person for over 13 years. So at this point in time, we're going to present each of them with their watches. Aren't we proud of these people? Okay, so I'm not going to cry right this second. It's all really good. And I think we're just going to say thank you, and I appreciate you coming to the stage, and thank you for all of your years of service, and you can make your way back, and we'll help you put on your watches. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so I was kind of shaking actually as I did that. I think I actually job coached every one of those people on the stage today, and I watched them do their journey and learn their jobs, and then I watched the pride that they developed as they had those jobs, and they worked at them for years, and it's just it's a good moment to be able to celebrate. Let's give them one more hand as they get back to their table. So I have a little bit more to say, as you can imagine. We're almost done. We have one more area, and then I promise I'll wrap this up so you guys can get back. So every once in a while in our lives, we're ignited. As you can see on stage, sometimes we're ignited by a spark, a passion, and a truth. And you've heard my truth today. And my truth is that all people can work. And that truth sometimes resonates deep within us, and we act on it. We find ways to bring that truth, that spark, to life throughout our communities, and we find a way to represent and speak to that passion whenever we get a chance. We find ourselves being an ambassador for that truth. For us, here in this audience, the truth, the passion, the spark is that our belief that all people can work, regardless of the notion of disability, and that we are stronger, and that our communities are stronger when all people play a vital role. We become the ambassadors for change. So for the next award, and oddly enough, we're not going to give out an award this year. We're going to call it the Ambassadors Award. And why are we not going to give out an award this year? Because the gentleman I'm going to introduce you to insisted that we didn't do that. And as an employer, the customer is always right, and as such, I listened. But in turn for conceding, grudgingly mind you, he agreed to serve as a role model for this award. For the last 5 years or so, a spark was ignited in this man. A deep understanding that his work community as well as his personal community is stronger when they have truly embraced all people within, including those with disabilities. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Jonathan and Jonathan, each serving as role models for their communities and emulating all of the characteristics of this award. And now I'm setting the stage. You've heard challenges, you've heard the gauntlet thrown out in each and every one of you. And the challenge is, become our recipient of the Ambassador Award next year. Become the person who's going to ignite that spark within somebody else to hire a person with disabilities. I want to honor you here on this stage next year. So welcome, Jonathan. Just leave that.
Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Els. I have worked at Alternative Home Care for over 2 years, and it is my job to manage their complicated file system. I scan and retrieve files from the computer and from file folders. I also do a lot of shredding of documents. My favorite part of my job is the work I do on the computer, converting paper files to computer files. Today, I am honored to introduce you to my wonderful employer, Mr. Jonathan Istra. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So, first of all, a lot has been said here today about what it is to be an employer of special needs and special people. I want to thank everybody who's here, but I have a question for you. How many of you who are, you don't have to raise your hand, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but how many of you who are here do not have disabled adults working in your organization? Question is, why not? This unique population has a lot to offer. They possess a strong desire to work. They want to work. It's incredible how much they want to work. They show up every day wanting to work, and they get there early. I mean, John is waiting to punch in every day. That's an incredible kind of workforce. What employer would not want employees like that? That's what you get when you hire people through Tierra del Sol, are employees that want to work, that show up early, wait to punch in. Now this is very important. I was having a discussion with one of my coworkers, an employee, I am the boss, but I like to call everybody coworkers. And this person has a lateness problem. And I was talking to her and I said, you know, you're gonna have to step it up. And she says, everybody's late. I said, everybody? Like who? And well, I don't want to name names and get anybody in trouble, but everybody's late. I said, like John? She looked in her lap, shook her head, and said, I won't be late anymore. And she hasn't. And this is the type of inspiration that employers can get from employees with special needs. Because the rest of this crew, the rest of the staff, sees people who overcome amazing odds to get to work. Whether it's taking public transportation, whether it's having to wake up an hour early, they don't miss work. They're never late. And you know that sign in the kitchen that says, do your own dishes, your mother doesn't work here? Well, they really believe that, and they do their own dishes. So, in conclusion, a lot's been said here today. There's nothing better than being an employer. I love being my own boss. It's something that I've wanted to be since I was a kid. And I've always been working for myself. Short periods of time I worked for other people. And I've taken that opportunity to hire disabled adults. And I'm just telling you, you have to do the same thing. And if you do it, you really will fulfill a need in your organization. You'll have great employees, there'll be great examples. Like I said, what employer doesn't want to have inspiration when you walk through the door? I mean, Linda said that her boss was an inspiration to her. I want to tell you, Linda, I lost where you are at, but Linda, you're an inspiration to us. John, you're an inspiration to us. Everybody who walks in knows what it takes for individuals such as John and Linda to get to work every day. And that's the kind of people you like to have working for you. It makes a difference in your organization. I want to thank Steve Miller, Rebecca, and all of Tierra del Sol for bringing this to my attention and to giving me the opportunity to be an employer. And have a great day and the rest of the weekend.
Hi, my name is Minnie Cezanes. I'm going to speak a speech. The people at Lowe's made me feel special on my birthday. They gave me cake and presents, and I really love them. The reason I'm almost about working at Lowe's. Making money, pay my own way to Hawaii next year.
So since this time last year, due to the efforts of the folks in this room, 20 new people have started their job. We only have 500 more to go. We've heard about world changers, trailblazers, and ambassadors. And I'm hoping that this time next year, we'll have a new crop of world changers, trailblazers, and ambassadors to step on this stage and tell you what a remarkable impact that people with disabilities can have on your work site. In addition to that, I hope that we have another Mindy stand here and say, because of her paycheck, she will pay her way to Hawaii next year. So thank you for coming today and helping us change the world one person at a time. Thank you.